Media. Fueled by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off the checkout at c4energy.com. On Clydesdale Media, where we bring you the widest array of content here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're the first to know when new episodes are available. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Clydesdale Media Live at the Pasadena semifinal for North America West. Trying to get the leaderboards up here on my phone, but it is me, Scott Schweitzer, the Clydesdale. It is her, Jamie Latimer, videographer, interviewer, analyst extraordinaire. And we're here just to recap the day. We literally just got back to the hotel about 20 minutes ago. Both scarfed down a Rosie Joe's meal. So it's been 2 weeks of Rosie Joe's.
Yes.
What's your favorite so far?
My favorite so far is that filet with the risotto.
Yes, it is.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, we were actually going to make a bet with it this week, and Jamie said no, she doesn't want to risk losing hers. We got them 2 weeks in a row. That was amazing. Just had the grass-fed beef lasagna with green beans. Damn.
That one was
That
really
was good too.
I had that one last night. I had Dalen's teriyaki chicken with rice and like snow peas. That one was really good. That's what I had tonight.
And we don't have much time left, and both of those fillets are still sitting in the fridge.
It's flying home with me if it's not eaten. So
all right. So yeah, I might have to have a second meal tonight.
I'm for sure I have a second meal.
So we're back live. Some stuff happened today at the competition. It's day 2, so we start off with Linda. Seems like 2 days ago.
Oh no, it does. Linda seems forever ago.
The one thing I can say about Linda on the male side, Colton Mertens was not going to be beaten by anyone.
No. He moved those obviously shorter levers so he can move a little bit quicker, but those dumbbells were nothing to him.
Nothing.
I said it, with how little he is, you'd think they would look big. They looked like 50s out there, like just being handled them.
And he completely obliterated the field. It wasn't even close. And I think that's the thing that's so frustrating about Colton is his wins are dominating wins. Mm-hmm. Like when he puts his head down and goes, they are dominating. And then he has these holes. Whether you blame his size or not, he has these holes that all of a sudden he takes a bad finish, and we're looking at him on the outside looking in right now.
Yep.
And he dominated 2 events by a mile.
Yep. This would be one where, because the run was not great for him, test 5, where I'm curious, would a road run be better suited for him than the machine? Does the machine help the other guys against him?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. Travis is throwing me off with his comments. He's asking if Cyber Jamie is getting a recharge.
Yeah.
That's the device she uses to land the planes on Tarmac 4 with all the blinking lights and everything. And then, yes, I've got my Vindicate stickers on the back of my laptop. Let's look at that. There's a couple Vindicate on there. Some Paper Street, all my favorite small businesses in the CrossFit space being supported right there on the laptop. So, yeah, love my guys. Love my guys. Wad Zombie says, Colton said that type of runner felt faster than the one at home. We've heard that comment a few times.
We have. I haven't run on that, and I don't know, but I have been told that pro runner is faster, and like even faster than running on the road. I don't know. I'm curious how I need to get my legs on one and
Yeah.
Test it out.
Well, maybe we can steal one tomorrow. We can give it a little
Fly
try. Travis from Vindicate says he would rather see shuttle runs than the air runner. I don't even want to go there.
I know. Yeah, we sort of talked about that. You're right, though. It would have at least been, you could have seen, even with that ticker, you just can't. It's just the spectacle's not there.
I think it's better live than it is on the stream.
Oh, sure. I'm sure.
Because you can see the judge move up.
Yeah.
And you can see the whole field. And when that judge moves up and the hand goes in the air, it really does kick up the intensity and the crowd does go pretty crazy live. And I'm sure Wad Zombie can attest. He was there. It was freaking packed today.
It was packed. It was loud in there. They did the wave. They played some good music. People were singing. Yeah, it was
standing room only.
Yep.
And I love seeing that for the sport. Love seeing that for the sport.
Yeah. Ken, you just missed it. We just talked about the belt. This is what we were talking about last night. This is, and I just turned it off, but it was vibrating. This is the belt. My back.
So the women's side, Olivia Kerstetter pretty much dominated in the same fashion that Colton did. But what is even crazier to think about is, nowhere near Amanda Barnhart's time.
Yeah. I don't think that, I haven't looked at the other semis, but I don't think that number is going to get touched.
No. Wad Zombie concurs. It was better live. If their goal was to have 100% indoor event on one floor, mission accomplished. No flamethrowers, though. And Kenneth is applauding your recovery.
Much needed.
Yeah. I woke up in the middle of the night with cramps last night. So lots of back squats that I prayed for and got and shouldn't have.
Yeah. Neither of us worked out this morning. We're just trying to survive at this point.
Yeah. So Olivia takes to Linda. And then we moved on to everybody's favorite air runner event. What was crazy about today is most of the great times or weights were not in the final heat.
Yeah. Yeah. The heavy lifters came from the early heat and then Hannah did surprise us all with that lift at the end, but didn't surprise us.
And let's talk about that because so Jamie comes running over to me and she goes, Hannah did not lift 215. Hannah lifted 205 and pulled out a video where it appeared that the plates on the bar were the same as Christine Kohlenbrander's,
right?
Which was 205. Madison McElhaney from like heat 3 hit 210, and she was saying that, or we ran into her. We pulled up the broadcast. It looked like it was 205, not 215. We then got our photographer, Teddy Williams, and he got a close shot of Hannah's, I need to phrase this correctly. He got a close shot of her lift. And when we blew it up, it did appear that she had 5s inside.
Yeah. So I guess we all missed that when she walked out because their bars are preloaded with the 125 for the ladies. And then they're allowed to come out and do whatever, set the floor.
It just boggles my mind that you would strip the bar completely
to throw 5
to throw a 5 on there.
Yeah, I would have never thought to even look for that. I mean, they're saying the weights out there, so to me, it's like it's something you would do at a weightlifting event to try to throw off your competitors, but people aren't looking at your bar out there, and the announcers are saying the weight. So it was strange to me, and that just seems like a lot of extra work on her part. But she threw us all off, so I don't know.
So Madison hit the 210 early.
Yep.
It wasn't until Hannah Black, who really was the fourth to last person into this event. She was a Heat 1 competitor.
Yes.
Coming in. She was fourth to last in and is sitting in a qualifying game spot today.
She's crushing it.
Yeah, she took third in the first event. She won the snatch event. She is obliterating this. And she did well in the muscle up event.
Mm-hmm.
Not like great, but she did well for a bigger athlete.
Yeah, which makes us think that her pulling, like, she'll probably do well enough at the rope climbs. I guess what we're curious about is how her handstand push-up, especially being the wall-facing handstand push-ups, if that will trip her up at all, or
Yeah.
handstand walking.
That's the only unknown at this
Right.
point. She's displayed the upper body pulling, so the rope climb should not be an issue. She's definitely strong enough to overhead squat the amount of weight they put on the bar.
Yeah.
But this show, we love those outside the top 10 people, and it's cool seeing her skyrocket into the top 10.
Yeah. I was surprised, and I told you this out there, that both men's and women's weren't higher lifts today.
Not surprised men's for the winner, but I am surprised overall what we saw from the field.
Right. Yes.
Maybe this weekend's events have taken a little bit out of the competitor.
It didn't seem to last weekend, so I actually because I was so surprised. I would have thought as of last weekend, like when we went into it, I thought people would be 20 pounds under their one arms, right? We said that when we previewed it, and people were hitting PRs or equal, basically. With when we talked to
Yeah, I truly wish Tudor would have had one more lift though.
yeah, he
He had more in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis, I wish wouldn't have made a 30-pound jump. I wish he would have made a smaller jump where he could throw something quick on to go for the 330.
Yeah.
Because he missed the 330 behind him. But to jump from 300 to 330 and then have to stick with a 300.
Yeah.
We thought it was going to be devastating for him. Turns out not many hit 300.
That's today. The thing. I totally thought we'd see like several 300s, and I don't know. I just, maybe it is the volume of this weekend. I don't know.
So, and then on the run aspect of it, we already kind of talked about that. It was more exciting live than you watch on the stream because you can see the whole field and how they are gritting it out in that dark space. People like Hattie Canyo and Kelly Baker and Emily Rolfe and Katrin selling out on that run and even Anthony Davis surprised us on the run.
Yeah. He looked good.
Yeah. I just don't think he's 100%.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis channeled his inner Rich Froning boneheadedness. Yeah, he did. Let the ego get in the way and thought you could make a 30-pound jump, which most of us know is just foolish at that top end strength.
Yeah, if he would have hit it, think about where he'd be sitting. And
they've been saying that about Rich at the games when he went for 400 on the clean and jerk for years, and he didn't. He just didn't. Right. So we can say if all we want.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed at the individual games that Rich did in 14, 13. I spoke with the Underdogs media photographer at the end. They are the only training camp that didn't get approved for credentials, yet meme pages got approved. Huh.
And that's the same as Training Think Tank last week.
Yeah, Training Think Tank did not get approved last week.
I actually, Nick, I have not seen Training Think Tank out there this week.
Correct.
So I don't think that's true that Underdogs is the only. I think both Training Think Tank again and Underdogs again, because they didn't last week either.
So the one thing that I do want to, it's tough, right? From a media perspective, last year it was way too many people in the pit. They had to figure something out.
Yeah.
They've probably swung the pendulum too far to one side. But I will tell you, there are more people in the pit this week than there were last. They are letting people that I know they didn't let in last week in this week. So it is. So I don't know what that means. I am friends with the Kotlers. I actually had a very long text string with Ashley Kotler on my way to the airport last week about this exact thing. And yes, they are not happy at the way this was treated. But we know that TTT said the same thing on their podcast last
And
week.
and they have 3 or 4 athletes here. So they're here again. I've seen their coaches out. And yeah, I haven't seen anyone in the pit for them. So I think they're in the same boat.
But if we're heading to the pits, I do want to talk about one thing. It is utter chaos what's happening right now for content creators in the space. If you have been watching our Instagram channel or our YouTube shorts, we are trying to put out as much content as we physically and possibly can over these weekends to promote not only the sport itself, but the athletes competing in this sport. We are trying our asses off to get to people, to get interviews, and the athletes have been nothing but accommodating when we can get to them. At some point during today, there was a point where we got locked in the media pit and they would not allow us out at the end of events. If it was before the end of events, if it was the end of event, it would even be better. But we couldn't, to get back to where we could get the athletes interviewed, we would have had to have left before the event finished to even know what the story was that we were covering. Now, CrossFit is attempting to remedy this situation tomorrow.
Right.
But on a positive note, what I want to say is to all of you who have shared our posts, who have put them in your stories, who have mentioned us in your stories, the further reach we get, the more that proves to CrossFit that this should be allowed.
Mm-hmm.
And so for everybody who is doing that, I know our girl Elise is sharing left and right. If there is something that, and if you don't like it, don't share it. But if there's something that hit you, that you enjoyed, share it, do those things so that it gets our reach out there to show CrossFit what we can do to help them grow this sport.
Yeah.
And this isn't just for us. There are 3 entities really trying to get interviews. And for any of those where you see content that you like, you should share it, share it, share it. Because that's the reach that will make an impression on CrossFit when we show them what they are taking away from their audience. And we're doing this free of charge. We're not being paid by CrossFit. We're not getting paid to be here. We're doing this because we love this sport and we want to get the word out. We want it to grow because we love talking about it year round. And if CrossFit keeps screwing this up, we're not going to have a sport to cover or a sport to talk about or a sport to follow. And so that's my riff for tonight. Just saying, keep doing what you're doing, share all the stuff you love and see, and it will make a difference. Because in the eyes of CrossFit, that's what they want to see. Kenneth, I don't think there could be a more accurate statement that you have made. And that is that Scott looks both comfortable and uncomfortable in this chair. It is way more comfortable than what we have dealt with all day.
Yes.
But yet it is not my recliner at home. Scott, have you heard anything from the East or West in regards to the lack of vendors in Vendor Village?
I find Vendor Village here at West to be pretty, I think it's pretty good.
I would say compared to last year, there are more vendors definitely in the West. And I know that it's not ideal that it's in a separate building, but if you knew the headaches that the loudness was causing in the arena, it's refreshing to go to this building that's just across the sidewalk into their own place where you can talk to the vendors and learn stuff about them. It's so now he say it's extremely disappointing to the people that they can't even buy CrossFit brand shirt, let alone any other brands. Well, I will say there are some brands here.
Yeah, there's
I
other
don't
brands
want to
shirts.
name names
Yeah.
because I'm not sponsored by any of them. But there are some apparel brands
Yeah.
here. I've seen athletes in there shopping. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen lots of people in there shopping. Jamie was trying to shop.
Yeah, well, Fleo's here, and y'all know my obsession with Fleo. So, but if you're speaking on behalf of like Noble not being here, and if they're trying to get CrossFit specific items, yeah, I don't know. We don't know what's going on with that.
As I told Jamie earlier today, they are in the last year of the Noble contract.
Mm-hmm.
Once this games is over this year, that contract runs out. And maybe, just maybe, negotiations are not going so well on a renewal of that contract. And so maybe that is what we're not hearing yet. Again, speculation on my part, but having an MBA and working in the business world for several years, it's in the coaching world, they call it a lame duck season. That's where Noble is right now.
Travis, I'll take a picture in there tomorrow. I'll walk around so you can, and I'll send it to you so you can see what the vendor village looks like.
Yeah. Again, it's not 2018 level or pre-pandemic level, but it is way better than it was last year. Especially here. It's a little more robust than it was in Orlando.
Yeah, I think it's better here for sure.
In Orlando, still is better than like Mac and Syndicate and Granite.
I didn't think Granite was that bad. I mean, I guess there was only like three. I would say East was similar to Granite.
Okay. We'll agree to disagree. Most of that tent was CrossFit itself and their seminars and
yeah.
So there.
So Bruce heard Noble is at Torian. Interesting.
Wow. Bruce thought it was good in Orlando. You think it took on too much with the games, the combine? Seems like a lot. I know something didn't work right, or you wouldn't be laying off 75 people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, Gabe is here this week, but no Paper Street. So I have been unable to get my coffee fix other than the wonderful Miss Latimer doing pour overs every morning, taking care of me in a way that I don't deserve.
You do deserve it.
So let's talk surprise, biggest surprise. And
I mean, biggest surprise gotta be Hannah still.
I think conversely, Danny Spiegel, basically similar athletes, and the unknown Hannah taking advantage of a power output event, and Danny Spiegel not.
Yeah. I figured Katrin would do well. I didn't. I'm surprised how well she is doing. And then speaking of outside, I'm Emily's position right now has
Emily Rolfe.
Yes, Emily Rolfe's position right now has me slightly distraught.
I will tell you that what has me distraught is someone who followed 10 athletes to start the season. I think we're down to one master and one qualifying spot right now. Kelly Baker is the only one of our athletes in a qualifying position going into the final day.
Well, we got a whole day.
Wad Zombie, I am not surprised with Jack Rosema. If you listen to my interview with him, this is the first year he's been able to train because he is a JAG attorney in the Army or Navy, Army.
Yeah, we still need to get that clarified.
Yeah. And then he finally got a schedule where he can actually work out twice a day. Before this year, he's not been able to do that. So I was actually anticipating him as a sleeper pick to make the games. Don't know if he's going to do it, but he's taking a hell of a shot at it.
I mean, he's that one on that cut line that's going to be, well, Stevenson's on the cut line, but
and to me, I think we have the old Brent Fikowski back.
He looks good.
I think from 2 years ago when he podiumed and he had the tape all the way up the back of his leg, I think there's been something wrong with his hamstring. He has never told me this. This is my speculation, and he has not been right ever since. Watching him on that air runner today, even though Vellner out touched him, he looked like the old Brent running on that air runner today.
Yep, he looks good.
And Pat looks freaking amazing.
I said Pat's going to pull Adler this week.
I think Adler and Brent and Pat have become really tight. And it is a major competition between those three Canadians as to who can put on the biggest show.
Yep. Agreed. Todd, it will be. And I think that speaks a little bit to, nobody can see what. I'm just speaking to Todd's comment without it being posted.
So what you do, Jamie, is you come over here and you click on it and it appears on the screen.
All right. So yeah, Todd, it will be all over the place. I think that speaks a bit to the programming. And until we see the game's programming, it's just going to be really tough to.
Todd, I love that you say this because he almost did the little, like, I can't do it. After he dropped the bar like he did in the games that year with his snatch, I think it felt that good. And that's scary.
Yeah, he's got a smile with everything. All weekend he's just looked good and happy.
And I think that if you don't say that Bethany Shadburn is a shock.
I don't know that it is a shock though. We haven't seen her put together.
Did you watch my show with her 2 weeks ago?
No.
I'm gonna tear up. Aww. Like she said that her body is not what it needs to be at this moment, and she's putting it in the hands of God. And she has tried to do it on her own for so many years, and maybe it's time that God wants to prove he can do a lot with a little. And that moved me so much, and it makes me so happy to see what she's doing out there on the floor, because not only is it amazing what she's doing, but it's such a testimony to her beliefs.
Yeah, I agree. Who's Hosanna?
That is.
Oh, okay.
Hallelujah. The programming made for her, I disagree, Bruce. I would not have said this is an ideal Bethany Shadburn programming.
No, I actually was worried that Linda, could maybe blow her up.
And a 1 rep max snatch is not going to be in her wheelhouse. And that sled pull, she shocked the shit out of me. To be honest, I thought that sled might break her back.
Yeah.
But she has proven that, yes, she can do it all. And let's be honest, like we knew that she was a hell of an athlete. Right. It just is, will her back hold up for the weekend? And she still has to get through one more day.
Right.
Like Jamie, just analyzing this thing and getting interviews, has to put on the T2000 every night just to make it the next day.
I'm good.
So Bethany's probably got 6 of those on her right now.
Probably. She knows what's good for her.
Bruce, honestly, dude, next time we see each other, we got to have a talk, because this programming is not Bethany Shadburn programming.
Yeah.
This is Hannah Black programming.
Yes. Agreed. Although we would have thought it would have been
the only thing that it's in the only thing it's in Jamie's way. Bethany's way at this point is that sandbag carry.
I think it's short enough that she'll be okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think those are the big surprises. Tomorrow night, we're probably, if we do this, we may have to do it from a phone at the airport.
Correct. Or on the Uber ride.
Yeah, that would be fun for our Uber driver.
Yeah.
Well, at least thank you so much. That
sweet.
means the world. And that's what we're trying to do. We're here to grow the sport and to give you as much information from behind the scenes as we can. What I will say, surprised if Danny doesn't make it. I think she's too far out.
I think she's too far out too. But I am, because looking at the programming, I would have thought Danny would have been safe coming into this weekend. So I don't.
Yeah, I'm surprised she's where she is right now. But I think Hannah Black took that spot.
Yep.
I think Hannah Black is our new Danny, who maybe has a little more upper body pulling.
Yeah.
And you guys are just killing the comments.
You guys are. It could be the trip.
Maybe.
It absolutely could be.
Yeah, that's a great one, Nick. The crowds. I think that individuals have a lot of support here, and they're starting to learn some of these people's names, and it's getting really crazy. The crowd is insane. It is so loud. To get interviews, we have to remove the athlete from that area completely, just to get a good enough sound to get a sound bite.
Even the teams, Salty Hive has a huge group. That's some of the loudest cheering I've heard. I know Colton is he's gonna have to have a home run in that number 3 tomorrow, or number 6 tomorrow.
I think John Young needs to watch Colton build his house by climbing ropes. I think Colton has worked. This is what I'm going to say about Colton. It is obvious he does not want to talk to the media after any event. He is there for one reason and one reason only.
Yeah.
And I think he has spent the offseason thinking about every single one of his holes and what he can do to make them better. And I think, just like when we said his Linda should be strong, short levers, blah, blah, blah. But he took all the butts out of that. And I think that workout tomorrow, you're going to see another workout where he took all the butts out of it. And his rope climbs are going to be phenomenal.
I think so too.
I think the only thing standing in his way between a game spot is that Echo bike.
Yeah.
He's going to have to hit a home run in event 6 and then hang on for event 7. And he will. Colton will hang on to that toes to bar. If it kills him, he's going unbroken on the toes to bar. And he's going to be able to carry the sandbag. It's just how quick can he get it off the floor?
Right. Wrapping his arms around that bag is going to be a little bit more difficult than some of those other guys.
Believe you me, he is going to kill that rope climb tomorrow. And he's going to make John Young eat his words.
I think he will too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Travis, I don't think it's that he doesn't want to talk to the media. I think that it is his way this year of just staying focused on the job at hand. He is talking on Instagram. He is sending us messages on Instagram, but he is not giving us an interview after the event. We've talked to Allie throughout the weekend.
And she just made it?
And K2 made it. They took 4th in the team event. So Colton's fiance,
Mm-hmm.
Ali Zerke, is going to the games with K2 for the second straight year. And you heard it here Colton's making it tomorrow. It's going to be typical where it's not going to be a first place or a podium or anything like that, but he's going to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And Ali has been amazing all weekend, and Nick can attest to that. I have an original "Get Colton to the Game" shirt that I gave her. She got it signed for me. It's going up in the podcast room. So Colton's still doing stuff like that. He is just, even when they did, Nikki Brazier tried to interview him, he cut that short.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's focused. You can't blame the guy. So we think Stevenson's going to be out and Colton's going to jump him. You think that's what's happening tomorrow?
I'd have to look. I think the leaderboard's going to. I hate to go against John Young all the time, but I think event 6 will shake up the leaderboard to some degree. Then I'll tell you who's in and out.
There's not going to be shake up through Medeiros. They are pretty much solidified. And then you've got Rosema, so you either think it's Rosema or Stevenson. And the problem is Rosema is going to be good at what Colton's pretty good at. So
because I think Rosema's having a great weekend too.
I think so
dang.
So Stevenson will be our drop for Colton and he's got to jump John
And I
Wood.
love Mitch too.
I know.
That's where it hurts.
He looks pretty good too. This is going to be tight tomorrow. It's going to be heartbreaking for one of these guys.
I like John Young. It's nothing against him, but we both have our opinions. And I just think that John is stuck in 2022 and does not believe the work that Colton has put in 2023. That's all. I believe in Colton.
You're on the cold train.
Every time, so all weekend, this has been a battle between Jamie and I. About
yes.
So this has been a fight between Jamie and I all weekend long. Every time I want to count him out, Jamie's like, he's going to make it. Cole's going to have a good one in this one.
He always does, though. That guy always sneaks in. I mean, if I've got my hopes on somebody, I'm rooting for Colton, and he's right ahead of Sager. So I would think Sager might not sneak in this year, but man, that guy just somehow finds a way.
He does. I think this is the year it ends.
I think you might be right.
Elise says, how about Philip Muscarella? He's done pretty well. He's done pretty well, but it seems like he's just missing those few points he needs to be a contender. I think if he takes an off season, gets a little bit better. I thought his snatch would be heavier.
Yeah.
It was not. His run was good, not great. He doesn't have any of it's just not stringing top 10s.
Yeah.
And coming in, I thought if you could stay consistent, it would be good. And what we're learning is that is not it.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to work here.
The only consistency is staying in the top 10 with your finishes, like a Vellner, Fikowski. And then everything else, it's up in the air. It's home run, not home run.
Yeah.
Home
40th,
run.
third. That seems to be, yeah.
And what's crazy is Jamie and I were looking at the leaderboard this morning, and some of the people we're looking at had like a 28th and a 27th finish, and they're in 48th place.
I think it was like 35th, but yeah, you would think they'd be 27th, right? No, they were lower. That shocked me
because of the home runs that people were hitting, and then finishing behind them.
Yep.
Jeff, we did talk about Hannah Black's snatch today quite a bit at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
We interviewed her after event 1.
Yes.
And yeah, that interview is blowing up on IG and YouTube right now.
Yep.
So glad we got her early.
Go watch it, share it, get her name out there.
And old Patty is coming for him this year. I do not disagree, but I think that he has company.
Yeah.
I think do not go with recency bias. Do not forget the performance Jeff Adler put on last week.
And I think he had said he was going to share tips with Pat. So
yeah, and I think Brent is ready to be in that hunt as well. What is crazy is we thought it was a Ricky Roman Justin battle, and I think some old guys in Canada said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah. Well, yeah, well said.
So, with that, I think we've hit it pretty hard tonight.
Are we picking for tomorrow?
I don't know. I don't know. We can't.
Well, we did kind of 6. We're just gonna root for Colton on 6 the rope climb.
I think he's gonna crush it.
I think Vellner's gonna do well there too.
I think Bethany's gonna crush that.
Okay.
I think Ariel's gonna crush that.
Yeah.
I don't know how Gazan is on her hands.
I'm gonna say Rolf for that one because I she has to have the home run, so she's gonna be.
You're right.
Yeah.
Emily for the win.
Yeah. She's gotta be
You
top 3.
talked me into it.
Okay. All right, so we're going with Rolf on that one, and then the bike sandbag. Girls.
Sandbag girls.
I'm gonna say. I mean, I think if it's anyone's event, it's gonna be like Spiegel, but with that bike. But I don't know. She hasn't looked herself.
Hannah Black.
Probably. Although.
Yeah. You know who's going to need it? Sydney Mikulishin. And that's kind of an event that she would be good at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Spiegel's probably going to be mentally out of it by then.
Yeah, you might be right. And then on our men's side, I mean, I obviously think Pat's going to crush it, but I'm going to pick Chandler for that one because he's.
Oh, contraire, mon frère. That will be Mr. Brent Fikowski.
Yeah, Brent will do well.
Yeah, and then he'll get to do the finger wag.
Ooh, that'll be good. That will be exciting.
No.
Nick, you think Nick Matthews going to take that one?
I don't think he's going to hold a candle to Brent on the bike.
Yeah, I don't either. Yep.
Would Annika have made it in the West? Depends on who her judge was.
Oh, man. Shots fired.
I think Annika should have made it in the East.
Yeah, she should have.
So that's how I'll answer that question, Bruce.
Yeah.
Wow, lots of picks. Dang, you guys are commenting fast tonight.
I know.
So Manny, are you saying Chandler is not going to win, or yes, he is going to win?
I think he's saying no to.
Scott's feisty. Scott is hanging on by a thread. And that's usually when you get goofy Scott.
Yes, clock. That is.
And yeah, so that's it, right?
Yeah, that'll wrap up our weekend.
Who's gonna win the week? Who's gonna win on the men's side and the women's side?
Well, I still think I called Vellner from the get. I said he's gonna pull an Adler. I think you will. You think Fikowski will pull it out?
No.
No.
I think Vellner is on fire. And then I think that Ariel's going to hold on. There's nothing that's going to trip her up. She may not win another event.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to trip her up.
Unless Katrin, I mean, she's only 2 points out, and unless Katrin out handstand walks her and.
Well, I'm so glad you kiss our coverage, Elise. It means the world to us that you like it that much. We are not going to Berlin.
No, we're done.
Yeah, we're calling it a day. But what we may do is watch the stream and have a couple shows, just so we can talk with you all
That would be fun.
about what's going on in Europe.
Yeah, that would be fun.
So, yeah,
Thank you, Bruce.
sled dog. Sled dog, I hope no.
I know she's kind of gonna be like a Cole, though, huh?
But if you would have told me she would be in second place going into the last day, I'd barf. Yeah, Lisa, I think that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
We'll watch the stream with you all, and then we'll do a show that night. We'll have to figure out the time change and when the events are going in Europe and how to do that. But yeah, we can do that. You guys are the best as always. I will try to figure out a way that we can do this tomorrow night from a phone.
Yeah.
I know we can. I just have to figure out if we're going to do it in our Uber to the airport or at the airport, because we may be in two separate terminals.
Yes, very likely.
With that, good night, all. It is late here. It's not late here, but we're still on East Coast time. So this feels like 11:48 p.m.
We're tired.
And we'll let you guys all go to bed now. So with that, see you guys all tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye.